The Majestic class light aircraft carrier HMAS Melbourne has the inevitable reputation of being the only Commonwealth warship in the history of the Commonwealth to have sunk two friendly warships in peacetime. On 10th of February 1964, she collided with the daring-class destroyer HMAS Voyager during sea trials out of Jervis Bay following a refit. During the trial, Voyager was also serving as plane guard for Melbourne, who was conducting night carrier operations. Despite maintaining a relative course for most of the operation, just before 9 p.m, Voyager ended up out of position. Instead of being behind Melbourne, she ended up in front of her. After being ordered to return to her plane guard position, it was reported that instead of turning away from Melbourne, which it started to do, it suddenly turned back towards Melbourne. And as a result, Voyager was cut in two just behind the bridge superstructure, and the forward section sank in just 10 minutes, killing 82 members of Voyager's crew, including all but two of Voyager's bridge officers. 5 years later, on the 2nd of June 1969, Melbourne was once again involved in another fatal collision. While participating in a SATO exercise, she collided with the Alam M. Summers class destroyer USS Frankie Evans. Evans once again was ordered to serve as a plane guard for Melbourne, the fourth time he had done so that night. It was spotted on radar to Melbourne's port bow before suddenly turning to starboard towards the carrier. Despite messages being sent to Evans to return to position and that they were on a collision course, Evans appeared to make no effort to alter course, and in doing so, placed her under Melbourne's bow. The captain of Melbourne, Captain John Philip Stevenson, who had held a dinner for the captains of Melbourne's escorts, including Evans, where he stressed the importance of caution while recounting the events of the previous collision, immediately ordered Melbourne hard to port. As this happened, Evans finally appeared to react by moving to starboard, and in doing so, placed her Evans once again in Melbourne's path. At 3:15 a.m, Melbourne struck Frankie Evans amidships, cutting the ship in two. As a result, 74 US personnel were killed, all inside the bow, just like Voyager. In both instances, the commanding officers of Melbourne, Captain John Robertson and Captain John Philip Stevenson, were court-martialed for the incidents, despite Voyager's crash being declared a freak accident and that Evans was determined solely responsible for their crash. Both men were scapegoated for their respective accidents. Both men would be quietly transferred to minor postings, seen as demotions in all but name only, and both would retire from the service. It would take roughly 60 years for both men to be exonerated, with Stevenson receiving a letter of apology from the Australian Ministry of Defence, and for Captain Robinson, in 2015, the support centre for the Canberra-class amphibious assault ships, the spiritual successors to the Majestic-class carriers, would be renamed in his honour.